The weekend is right around the corner, and so is KidNuz. But first...
Who says gaming can't be educational or that education can't be fun? Enter Adventure Academy, an immersive world where 8 to 13-year-olds can challenge their friends in all sorts of subjects, all while earning rewards to customize their avatars and flex their own personal style. Support your kids' learning while maximizing their fun. Did we mention it's from the makers of the oh-so-popular ABC Mouse and available on tablets, smartphones, and computers? And for a limited time, KidNuz fans get special treatment. Use our promo code and get the first 2 months for only $5 by going to adventureacademy.com/KidNuz.
Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Friday, November 3rd, 2023. And we begin with a little time travel on tap this weekend. Come 2 a.m. Sunday morning, daylight saving time ends, so most of us will be turning back the clock 1 hour before going to bed Saturday night. That means an extra hour of sleep Saturday, lighter mornings, and nightfall that starts even before dinner time. According to Pew Research, about a third of the world's countries, including the U.S., with the exception of Hawaii and most of Arizona, along with much of Europe, observe daylight saving time. In the meantime, discussions over ending the twice-yearly time change continue in the halls of Congress. For the 6th consecutive year, lawmakers are considering legislation to make daylight saving time permanent, with the latest bill stuck in committee. Barring any changes, will once again spring forward, like clockwork, on the second Sunday of March next year. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is making his second diplomatic trip to the Middle East since recent fighting broke out in the region. Mr. Blinken is in Israel today, where he's meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to call for humanitarian pauses in the war so that civilians in Gaza can get out and more humanitarian aid can get in. One other important topic on his agenda, speaking to leaders about future plans for the region once the current war ends. After leaving Israel, the secretary will visit Jordan and possibly other stops in the area before heading off to Japan, South Korea, and India. An unusual creature is roaming the halls of one of the nation's best-known hospitals. Standing just 2 feet tall, Munchkin, a white mini horse, is the newest therapy animal to join the team at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Wearing tiny boots so he doesn't slip on the tile floors, Munchkin the horse joins a stable of dogs whose job it is to visit sick patients and bring joy to them, their families, and even the medical staff. While therapy dogs are pretty common, some people may be allergic to dogs or just plain scared of them. Judging from the reception Munchkin has received so far, he's just what the doctor ordered. Munchkin is following in his mother's hoofprints, as she was also a therapy horse, and according to his handler, he's even potty trained. Got milk? A nationwide paper carton shortage has schools scrambling to find new ways to make sure students get their daily dairy. According to CBS News, milk is a required staple in the National School Lunch Program, which serves billions of meals to kids every year. During the emergency shortage, which reportedly could last until early 2024, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is advising schools to be flexible and come up with their own solutions. Some New York State districts plan to buy milk in bulk and serve it in paper cups, a more labor-intensive process that poses the additional challenge of storing larger containers. And this week, fittingly on Halloween, New York's Liverpool School District warned of a much bigger potential problem. Once the pint cartons are gone, chocolate milk is too, unless a fix is found. An ocean oddball is making waves in the underwater animal kingdom. Questions about the anatomy of sea stars, also known as starfish, have stumped scientists for centuries. Because the pointy creatures lack obvious front and back ends, it's never been entirely clear if they have heads. However, surprising new genetic research published this week in the journal Nature is shedding new light on their unique body structure. It turns out that sea stars are essentially heads without torsos or tails. Along with sea cucumbers, sea urchins, and sand dollars, sea stars are members of the echinoderm family, whose body structures are divided into 5 equal segments. The study's lead author says to think of a starfish as just a head crawling along the sea floor. Still to come, a reason to check your pockets and piggy banks. But first, our KidNuz quiz. When will daylight saving time end? At 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. What's the name of the Mayo Clinic's new miniature therapy horse? Munchkin. School districts are facing a nationwide shortage of what? Milk cartons. How many equal body parts does a starfish have? 5. In our KidNuz Kicker, there's a brand new U.S. quarter in circulation featuring the country's first prima ballerina. Born in Oklahoma, Maria Tallchief, a member of the Native American Osage Nation, started dancing as a young girl growing up in Colorado. She then found fame in her long career as a renowned ballet dancer, even performing for President Kennedy in the 1960s. The new coin is the latest release from the U.S. Mint's 4-year-long American Women Quarters program, which celebrates the accomplishments and contributions made by women of the United States. Before we go, shout-outs to our KidNuz classrooms, Mrs. Thorington and her Wildcats from Downriver STEM School in Michigan, Mrs. D and Mr. P and their Commodores at Perry Traditional Academy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Mrs. Capel and her terrific Tigers at T.S. Cooley Magnet School in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Thanks for listening. Our Week in Review quiz and a new Critical Thinking Noodler are up on our website. And if you signed up, our weekly word search is in your emails. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz Monday morning.